Who is this actually good for? Who should skip it? And is it worth the price for a normal, everyday buyer? Those are the three questions that keep most people up at night when they stare at a smart resistance trainer that promises everything from Pilates to boxing. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's unpack the hesitation that comes with a piece of equipment that looks like a futuristic gym in a box, and see whether the reality matches the hype. First off, the biggest fear people have is ending up with a machine that takes up half the living room, but only delivers a narrow set of exercises. That's why I started by looking at how the system actually gets set up and used day to day. The unit arrives as a single, fairly compact chassis with a digital touchscreen and a set of resistance bands that slide into a central column. The stepless adjustment from 0.5 to 40 kilograms is controlled by the screen, so you never have to wrestle with weight plates or guess the next increment. In practice, that means a family of 4 can each pick a weight, hit the next button, and move on without pausing to swap plates. It feels a lot like the resistance you'd get from a cable machine, but it's all housed in a sleek, almost minimalist frame. Now, let's talk about who actually benefits from that design. If you're a home-based fitness enthusiast who mixes strength work with cardio, the 5 training modes strength, HIIT, Pilates, boxing, and a custom mode give you a decent variety without needing a separate set of gadgets. I tried a quick 20-minute HIIT circuit. The screen counted down intervals, the resistance ramped automatically, and the band stayed snug as I did squat-press combos. The transition was smooth enough that I didn't lose momentum, which is a common complaint with older, manual systems where you have to stop and adjust the weight between sets. On the flip side, if you're a powerlifter or someone whose workouts revolve around maxing out heavy lifts, this system will feel light. Even at the top end of 40 kilograms, you're still in the moderate strength range. The resistance is generated by elastic bands, not plates or hydraulic pistons, so the feel under load is different, more springy than solid. For someone chasing a 200 pounds bench press, the device simply won't cut it. Likewise, if you have a very limited budget and are only looking to do basic bodyweight work, the price point might feel steep compared to a simple set of dumbbells. Speaking of price, the value proposition hinges on the convenience of having multiple workout styles in a single footprint. For families, that convenience translates into fewer pieces of equipment cluttering the garage. One parent can be doing a Pilates flow while the teenage kid punches a virtual bag, and the younger sibling can be on a gentle strength circuit. The LCD touchscreen also logs reps, sets, and even suggests progressions based on the data it collects. In my experience, that data feedback is useful for beginners who need that extra nudge to know when to increase resistance, but seasoned athletes may find it unnecessary. Let's get specific about practical strengths. The stepless resistance adjustment eliminates the guess the weight game. You can fine-tune from 0.5 kilograms up in increments as small as a few grams, which is a blessing for rehab work. I know a friend who's recovering from a rotator cuff surgery, and she uses the system for controlled, low-impact rows. Because the bands can be set to a very light resistance, she can engage the muscle without overloading it, and the screen reminds her to stay within her prescribed range. Another real-world scenario is a home-based boxing routine. The device offers a punch mode that syncs resistance with a metronome, letting you feel a bit of pushback when you jab. It's not a full-blown heavy bag, but for a quick cardio burst in a small apartment, it works surprisingly well. Now for the weaknesses that matter after you bring the unit home. The biggest hidden trade-off is the reliance on the touchscreen for every adjustment. If the screen glitches or the battery in the controller dips, you can be stuck in a particular resistance range until you troubleshoot. I've seen a few YouTubers mention occasional lag when the system tries to update resistance mid-set, especially if the Wi-Fi signal is weak. The device does have an offline mode, but you lose the automatic progression feature, which is part of what makes the experience feel smart. Also, the bands themselves will wear out over time. The manufacturer doesn't list a specific lifespan, but users have reported needing to replace them after several hundred sessions. That's an extra cost that isn't front-loaded, so factor it in if you plan to use the trainer daily. Another practical concern is noise. The resistance bands are quiet compared to a metal stack, but the motor that adjusts the tension can emit a faint whirring sound each time you change a setting. In a shared living space, that could be a minor annoyance, especially if you're doing multiple sets back-to-back. It's not a deal breaker, but something to keep.